our viewers watching at home and all over the world, and of course the students and teachers here with us today. So our participating groups here, we'll do a little shout out. So we have Cedar Crest Middle School. We also have the Good Time 4-H Club. They're here. Thank you. Harrisburg Academy, 4th grade. St. Teresa School, 1st grade. Gillen Home Schools here. And also our Falcon Watch and Rescue volunteers are here as well. So thank you all for attending. What we're going to be doing today, first off, my name's Ann Devine. I'm an environmental educator here with DEP. So what's going to happen is we have 3 nestlings from the ledge, and Art McMorris from the Game Commission is going to be weighing them, banding them, and examining them. We also have an educator from Zoo America with a live peregrine. So she's going to teach us about adaptations, and we'll have a chance for questions and answers. So since it is a live webcast, we ask everyone to remain seated for the entire program to maintain our quality. And at the conclusion of the event, we have some DEP freebies, some goodie bags, so students be sure to pick them up at the bottom of the steps. So first off, I have the pleasure of introducing Secretary Richard Allen from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. DCNR is an active partner, and Secretary Allen is an avid falcon watcher here at the building. So please join me in welcoming Secretary Allen.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. Oh, this is a little loud. Well, thank you very much for having me here today. It's a great pleasure. I'm an avid bird watcher, and I've been following these falcons ever since the first nest was built here on the Rachel Carson building. So it's very exciting for me to be here today so that I could take part in the banding. You know, we have people from all over Pennsylvania who are following the falcons and throughout the world, both by the web, the Falcon camera on the website, and it's a very special connection that they've made with the falcons, and all these years, all the hatchlings, and people all over the world have been watching the young grow up here on the Rachel Carson building. I think it's a great opportunity to be able to see this live. But you know what? We're all of us here today are the lucky ones. We get to see the birds and the hatchlings live compared to everybody on the web. You know, as a conservation agency, DCNR is very excited to be involved with this project. You know, it connects all of you to children that are here today, people who are watching on the web, and people all over the world to see what the natural world is like. You know, it gives a sense of marvel to watch the birds and to learn about them and to understand the things that we do that affects the birds. And there's a little bit of history with the falcons. I know we had a problem some years back with some contamination, and the egg shells had a problem where they became thin, and when they were sat on, the eggs cracked. So we had a problem with continued hatchlings going forward. So this project with featuring here at Rachel Carson will show how we all have helped to bring back an endangered species. And you know, I think we've got 44 young all these years. I think I might have the right number. It's a tremendous amount. So, you know, as a result, we hope all of you here today will enjoy the falcons when we're doing our program here, as those that are following them on the Falcon camera and on Twitter, and become good stewards of our environment and spend time in the great outdoors. You know, watching wildlife, hiking, biking, kayaking. These are great things to do, even picnicking in the outdoors. And I do have to say, those of us that have been working with Governor Corbett the last couple years want you to know that he is an avid outdoorsman. He encourages you all to get outdoors and to work to conserving our natural resources. And I want to thank all of the staff that work here at the Rachel Carson building, all of our partners, all of our friends that have worked on this project all these years. You've done a tremendous, tremendous job. And I would like to introduce my good friend and my counterpart, the Acting Secretary, Department of Environmental Protection, Chris Abruzzo.
All right, thank you very much. This is a great day, right? You guys excited? Right, I'm excited, right? We have been really lucky because we get to watch the falcons every single day, and we get to watch them take care of the hatchlings, and we've watched as they grew from little babies that came out of the shell to now big enough where they can be banded, and we can start tracking their whereabouts. We can watch where they go. So this is a really neat day for all of us that work in the Rachel Carson State Office Building, and I'm glad that all of you could join us here today, because this is truly, I think, for the people that have worked for the Department of Environmental Protection and for the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for many years, it's like a labor of love. This is something that kind of began in the mid-'90s without any real big plan in terms of what the expectation was or what the goal was, other than to care for these falcons. Right? The falcons, the Peregrine falcons, were on the endangered species list. So do the kids in school, you understand that what that means when they were on the endangered species list? It means they were going away, right? There was a threat that they were going away. So people here took great care in making sure that they provided a safe environment for these falcons to come back so that their numbers would improve. And so I do have a couple numbers for you, but I have to put these on, see them here. So you should know, though, that since 1997, or in the mid-'90s, right, there have been 57 eggs that have been laid, right, out on that ledge on the 15th floor of this building. 49 of them hatched. Right? 29 falcons ultimately survived. So 29 adult falcons later, these hatchlings grew up and became adults. So we're helping bring back the numbers of these falcons, and these falcons live in the city, and they thrive on some of the food that they find in the city. They're a predator, so they thrive on some of the other birds in the city. So this has been a very safe place for them. I'm really proud to have really given them a home. Now, when you watch these falcons, right, you see the circle of life, right? So in some respects, you see the mother and the father, the two falcons. The one falcon lays the eggs. The other falcon is there to help the eggs become ultimately hatchlings, and they protect those eggs, right? And so ultimately, what we saw just a few minutes ago when we took the baby hatchlings off the ledge, we saw the two, I call them the mother and father falcon, okay? But the two parent falcons were swarming around the building. Why were they all upset? Why do you think?
Because they didn't know where the baby was.
Exactly, right? So just like any parent, they were very upset when they saw their hatchlings being taken off that ledge. So we're going to try to get them back out there again soon so that the two adult falcons don't get too upset. But this is a really unique opportunity for all of us to see how the circle really of life works. And by banding those falcons, by putting those wristlets, bracelet or little anklet around their legs, we'll be able to track their whereabouts as they get older and older and older. So we'll be able to learn more about their behavior and where they live and how they live. So this is a really important educational event for all of us. So I'm not going to keep talking. We're going to go start the program for all of us, and I want to thank all the students that are here, whether you're from our local schools or from the clubs. Thank you to the adults who are here chaperoning the children. This is a great event for all of us. I know we've been talking about this event for weeks here, and we're just glad you could all be a part of it. So with that, we're going to turn it over to the real professionals, and they're going to take it away.
Okay, at this point, we're going to turn it over to our banding team. So today we have Scott Bills, he's a land manager with the Game Commission, and Dr. Art McMorris, who is Pennsylvania's Peregrine coordinator. We also have DEP's environmental education intern, Kelsey Barr, who's going to be recording the band information, and our student helper from Cedar Crest Middle School is Emily Binkley. So thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Executive Director Allen. Thank you, Acting Secretary Abruzzo. And I want to thank all of the teachers who are here today. And especially, I'd like to thank all of you school children who have come out to this special event. Thanks for coming here. Ann just introduced me. My name is Art McMorris. I'm from the Pennsylvania Game Commission, and this is Officer Scott Bills. And this has been a very productive partnership that we've had in Pennsylvania between these different state agencies, the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the Department of Environmental Protection, and the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Although game is in our name, peregrine falcons are not game animals, but the Pennsylvania Game Commission is responsible for all birds and all mammals in the state of Pennsylvania. So you had a quick summary of the history of peregrine falcons, that they were completely wiped out in eastern North America in the 1940s and 1950s by the use of DDT, which was used to kill agricultural pests, insects, and everybody thought at the time that it was completely harmless to birds and mammals. We now know that that's not correct, but nobody knew that at the time. But because of the use of DDT, then by 1961, there were no successfully nesting peregrine falcons left in North America, that's in Canada or in the United States east of the Rocky Mountains. So why do we have peregrine falcons here today? Just to give you a brief summary, we, the Pennsylvania Game Commission, and other agencies in other states, and the Peregrine Fund at Cornell University raised them in captivity and turned them loose, and the population is now recovering. The population of the species is still listed as endangered in Pennsylvania because the population has not recovered far enough. It's on the right track, but we're not there yet. And the reason that we're banning these birds here today is to help the population to recover. Together with banning the birds, then we give them a medical exam to make sure that they're nice and healthy, and if they're not, if they need medical attention, then we take them to a wildlife rehabilitator to make sure that they get the attention that they need. And then we put identifying metal bands on their legs. They don't hurt the birds. My watch doesn't hurt me. My ring doesn't hurt me. But these bands are our most important tool for tracking the population, for keeping track of individual birds, determining how long they live, where they go, where our birds that are nesting here in Pennsylvania come from, and the growth of the population and so forth. This is all part of our effort to help the population to recover, and the aim that all of us have is to see the population to recover to the point that we can say, fine, they're back where they belong, we can step back, we can let nature run by nature's rules. We can stop doing this and just let everything go, which is the way it should be. So we have 4 young in the nest today. We only brought 3 down. The reason we only brought 3 down is we banded 1 bird upstairs as quickly as we could, and we put it back on the ledge. So mom and dad, who aren't very good at math, just know, oh, look at that, our baby is back, and they're happy. So they are calmed down, and one of the youngsters is calmed down. The other 3 have calmed down because they're in the dark. And when falcons are in the dark, then that calms them down. As soon as we lift the lid on one of these boxes, you'll hear something different, okay? But we're going to band 3 of them here. I'm going to give them a health check, band them, and then we will take them back upstairs and put all of them back on the ledge, and everybody will be happy. They're about 30 days old today. They will take their first flight in about 2 weeks. So that's a very exciting time to watch peregrine falcons because the babies will be learning how to fly. They'll be playing tag with each other. Play is an important thing for animals as with people. When you play, you're learning skills that you need later in life. When they play tag with each other, then they're learning skills that they will need to catch food when they're on their own. So they will be playing, they'll be learning how to hunt, and after about a month of that, then they'll just fly off somewhere and start looking for a place to nest themselves. Okay. Let's start with the first bird. Which one is our first bird? Officer Bills has the first bird. Is this the biggest and feistiest?
As far as we know, yeah.
Okay. You ready? Are you ready with your earplugs? Yeah. Okay, here comes bird number 1. How you doing, big girl? Oh, we have a nice, big, bouncing female. She is big. I told you these birds are 30 days old. Guess what? These birds are just as big as their parents. They are 30 days old. Could I have a show of hands? I'd like a show of hands. Everybody here who grew up to be just as big as their parents when they were 30 days old, could you please raise your hand? Okay. This is a female. I can tell that by her size and by looking at her legs. The females are bigger than the males. And thank you for screaming because I'm looking at her throat. And if our looking keepers can write this down, her throat is nice and clean. Her eyes are nice and clean, and that tells me that she's not dehydrated. I can tell that her claws are very strong because she's digging them right into my finger. I'm going to hand this to Officer Bills while I do a little bit more examining. There we go. Excellent. I'm going to check her ears and sometimes get parasites in her ears. How you doing, little girl? Big girl? All right, her ears are nice and clean. Her feet look good. I'm going to check her for insects. Sometimes these birds get insects that will suck their blood, or they get mice that eat their feathers. And if you're a bird and you have a mite eating your feathers, that's not good. No bugs. That's what we like to see. She's nice and clean. Now it's important to tell what sex the birds are because the females are bigger than the males, and therefore they need a bigger band to fit properly on their legs. So since she's a female,
When wear last?
I did not weigh her. Thank you, Officer Bills. We need to take a weight on this bird.
I want to give her up a moment.
This bird is 960 grams. 960. So if you could write that down. And now we will pick you up without getting eaten alive. There we go.
Does that feel better?
So it's in the cage. That's exactly the right weight for a female peregrine falcon to be at this age.
You have that one back? You have that back? Okay, good to go. All right.
band is on, and I'm checking it to make sure that it fits well.
Okay.
Now, because that band is so hard to read, I'm going to put on a second band. Those of you in the front row, can you read that? That's why we put the second band on. Because when this bird is flying around and moving next to me on phone, some people will be able to read this band or in a photograph, and you can identify the bird.
He's the bad guy, not me.
Are we ready?
Here we go.
So that number that you get is 32 over AR and flash over green. Because of these bands, we have been able to find 19%, that's almost 1 out of every 5 birds that have ever been banded in Pennsylvania, we have found somewhere. Usually nothing successfully, and usually it's because of this band that we've been able to identify them.
All right.
Almost done. Songbirds, if they ever see 1/10 of 1% of their birds again, that's good. We see 19% of our birds again, and it's partly because of this band. That's 190 times better than the songbirds. Partly because of this band. Finally, I'm going to put a strip of colored tape on this bird.
One more thing.
And the reason for this is when these 4 birds start flying, we're going to want to make sure that every one of them is doing well. And even that band can be hard to see. But if I put different colors on these 4 birds, then the falcon watchers here at Rachel Carson will be able to say, oh, I saw white flying today, and she was flying well, and red and blue are flying well, but I haven't seen yellow in 2 days. That's what these strips of tape are for.
This is the first bird I can remember that did not take a break from screaming throughout. This was you got a heck of a 7 months on there, honey.
So you can write down also that this one is getting white tape.
Okay.
And I'm just putting the thin strip of tape on here so that anyone who sees this bird will be able to see that there are numbers underneath the tape. And there's a toll-free phone number to call. If you ever find a banded bird, there's a toll-free number written on the band. You call that toll-free number and you tell them what you found and you tell them the number that's on the band. That could be a peregrine falcon, it could be any kind of bird. It could be a sparrow. Would you please repeat that? I didn't hear you. Say it louder.
My mic's picking that voice up. I don't know if you're getting around that.
What have I forgotten?
Nothing.
Heather, what have I forgotten?
You got everything?
Everything?
Everything.
Are you ready to give your ears a break?
I am.
Okay. Let's go back into the box
Okay.
where it's quiet. Finally. But we got 2 more screamers here. These are all screamers.
That's going to be a hard record to beat right there.
Yeah.
That was the whole time.
All of you, I'm sure in your classrooms over the last few weeks, you've been doing your homework. You've been studying all about peregrine falcons. But these birds, can you believe it? They cannot read. So they haven't read the books. They haven't done their homework about peregrine falcons. So they don't understand that there's nothing to worry about here. So they're simply upset, and they're letting the whole world, I think the whole world at this point,
Absolutely.
the bird scream. Okay, here comes bird number 2. Oh, is my microphone off?
Yeah, isn't it though? Certainly mine's working. And my mic's picking up the bird so clearly. Let me see, is the red light on? Yeah, we could switch.
Just
Why don't we
bear with
switch?
us.
Because that'll deaden the bird. Here, why don't we switch mics quick? How's that?
Is my mic working now? Okay.
Maybe I'll turn mine down because the birds are sort of.
Okay, if you can't hear me through mine, you can hear me through Officer Bill's microphone.
Not the birds screaming.
And I will try to scream louder than the birds. Okay, here comes number 2. And it looks like another girl. Oh my goodness. And the one that we banded upstairs was a girl. But let's see for sure. Yeah, she's a girl, all right. Here we go, big girl. She is 940 grams, that's 940. And that's a good weight for a female at this age. So let's pull her out. Thank you for not screaming as loud as your sister, or did I speak too soon? Now I'm going to look in her throat. Please turn my way. That's good. Her throat is nice and clean. Her eyes are nice and bright.
Want a shot of me?
There we go.
I got you now. I got you now.
This is why it's easier with 2 people than 1 person.
I just need that right leg. Here we go.
Okay, we got it.
All right.
Her feet look good. Let's check her for bugs, because I didn't look quickly enough when she was flapping. Oh, I like this. No bugs. This is what we like to see. No bugs. Okay. We've got no bugs. Okay, we've got the clear throat and the good eyes, and let's check your ears. We're looking for parasites in your ears, and I'm just doing my... Okay, her ears are good. Her ears...
All right. All right. Here, take a chunk. Want a chunk of me?
So Art has to do these kind of exams with falcons all over the state.
These new bands are really strong and really hard to close.
That's a good girl.
That's a good girl. Oh, she will. Now the feet of these birds, those are their real weapons. That's what they used to hunt with, that's what they used to catch their prey with, and that's what they used to defend themselves with. Their beak is very sharp too. They use that for tearing up food and eating it. But their real weapons are their feet and those very sharp claws.
Nothing but air. Oh, my goodness gracious. Doesn't like the flyers, apparently.
I need to get my finger in there.
Okay.
I didn't do anything, lady.
I thought I was going to use a lip there.
I need to get my... Yeah, just give me your whole leg.
Okay. Boy. All right, you're going to hurt yourself. Stop. Yeah. That's my finger.
These are made out of a very stiff alloy.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You got it now, though. Once you get that fold over, it's fine. It's just a matter of folding it over.
As with many things, the first step is the hardest. Thank you, lady.
Well, you have that leg. You want to put the colored tape on right away.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so that is on. And she is going to be blue.
She's got her talons in my knuckle here on this side. So she seems. Oh,
Like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Where are you?
Right here.
Oh, I was going to disentangle you from her,
No, I'm
from her
good.
claws.
I was letting her have it.
Okay. Yeah, and she was
happy
letting you
now?
have it too.
I know. It's on my fingers. Go ahead. Oh my goodness, you are. You are the middle child, aren't you?
People sometimes ask me if the Falcons ever get me with their claws. Well, on our way down here, then the rest of the team were holding the elevator for me while I ran into the men's room and washed the blood off my hands. They get me all the time. Like this one just got me there. Okay, lady, you're getting blue tape. But I don't wear gloves when I'm doing this for two reasons. One is I can be much gentler on the birds if I'm not wearing gloves. They're not gentle on me, but I want to be gentle on them. And the other is just gloves kind of make it clumsy. And we don't want to be clumsy when we're handling these. Okay, the other band is going to be 8-0 over AR, and that's black over green. These are comparatively much easier to do.
Got that right.
That's why we need rivets, because they bend so much more easily. Yeah, you go ahead.
She does not like tools. She had the same reaction to the pliers. That's your own foot. Get my thumb one more time. It's going to be a cinch compared to the rest of them.
Don't black hat us. Okay, here comes bird number 3. Who are you, bird number 3? You're a boy, I think, but you're not little. You're a big boy. Now, I think he's a boy because his legs look a little bit slimmer. The males don't get as big as the females. I don't know if you can notice, but can you see his legs look slimmer and his face looks a little slimmer? They're actually very hard to tell apart. It's just subtleties. But he's certainly smaller. He is 690 grams, 690. Remember what the others were? They were in the 900s, which is about 2 pounds. This one is 690 grams. That's about 1.5 pounds. And that's as big as the boys get. The males are smaller. They can't catch or carry as large a prey as the females. But on the other hand, they're a little bit more nimble in the air. They can turn faster. They can zoom around faster than the females. So his throat is nice and clean, and his eyes are nice and bright and shiny, That means that they're healthy and he's not dehydrated, even though it's getting kind of hot out on that ledge. His feet, well, his left foot looks good and his right foot. They both look nice.
He is quick.
They both
You
look
are
good.
quick.
Yeah, you are quick.
You are quick. Yeah.
And we have no bugs. This is wonderful. I think this is the first year in my memory
Yeah, I don't remember.
that we've had
recall.
no bugs on the bird.
Very helpful.
Okay?
All right. There's a disconnect there.
Yeah. He's
All right.
clutching his hands.
Okay, all right. Hang on a minute.
Okay, have I forgotten anything before I move on to the band? So this band is going to be very different in its number from all the others. It starts with 2206, and then there's a dash, and then it's 79742. And if you could read that band and make sure that I read that correctly. Is that correct? 2206 79742? Very good, thank you. How you doing, little guy?
Let's see.
Yeah, try to hold the legs down lower. There we go. I heard you. Yes, I did. Just wanted to make sure that you knew that I heard you. So that's a smaller band for a smaller leg, and that fits perfectly. It's a little bit loose, which is what we want. And let's put yellow tape on this belly. Okay? So we have red, white, blue, and yellow. Yesterday I was banding birds on City Hall Tower in Philadelphia, and there were 4 of them. And they were red, white, blue, and yellow. And I don't have to tell you what red, white, and blue stands for. But what I learned yesterday, which I didn't know previously, is that the city of Philadelphia has its own colors. And they're blue and yellow. So we had everything covered. We had red, white, and blue, and we had blue and yellow. And even though we're not in Philadelphia, we've got blue and yellow here as well. Does Harrisburg have city colors? Okay, there you go. And now on his left leg, we're getting the one with the big, easier to read characters. It's 23 over AP. Albert Peter. Okay, you got that? 23 over AP. So these are size 6 bands that go on the males, and the females get size 7A. So you can amaze your friends with that fun fact. Ooh, good one. I thought you'd already had lunch. What do you want my finger for?
Good one again. That was deep.
Okay. Have I forgotten anything on this bird? His ears. Thank you, Heather. Heather Freeland over here from 4-H is helping keep me on track. And I'm checking his ears. Sometimes flies lay their eggs in their ears. That's pretty disgusting, isn't it? But they haven't gotten this guy. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, you're done.
Thank you. Thank you, Art and Scott. So,
Okay, what we're going to do now is get these three birds back on the window ledge up with Mom and Dad so that they can calm down, and Mom and Dad will be happy that they have everybody back, just in case they can count.
As we will be.
So can three people take these upstairs?
Okay, and now at this
Are you
point,
okay to just set them on the window ledge, or do you want to? Heather, can
at
you do
this
that?
point, and then we're going to